Welcome to Spreadsheet Tips, Freezing Rows and Columns. Now this is a really fun tip, especially if you work closely with HR or marketing someday. HR and marketing, they are always working with spreadsheets with enormous lists of either employees or customers. I would say that at least a couple times a year I get called by HR or marketing to help them remember this tip, which is freezing the panes. And you'll see why in just a second. So I have up on screen just a sample of, maybe what a sample customer list or employee list would look like. And you could have 150 to 1,000 employees, customers. I mean, this spreadsheet could go on for days and days. So what's very helpful is that if you were scrolling down, that you wouldn't lose your headers here, okay? So what we're going to do today is figure out how we can go ahead and scroll without losing that top header. So we want to see this name, address, city. We want to know what we're looking at. So if you go ahead and just highlight the entire row, okay? If you go up top, you can go to View, okay? So click on View, and then you'll see this Freeze Panes, okay? And if you click on that, you get three options, okay? The bottom two, if your headers happen to just be in that top row, you could go ahead and say Freeze Top Row. Or if the information that you wanted to freeze just happened to be in the first column, there's a shortcut to just say freeze first column. Normally, that's not always the case. So we usually want to go ahead and click the first one, which is freeze panes. Now, since I've highlighted the entire row of 4, it's going to freeze the row above it, okay? So I've selected it now. Now, if I scroll down, you can see that row 3 remains the same, and I am free to go up and down in my database, and I can see my headers, which is really nice, okay? Same thing if you just want to freeze your columns. So I'm just going to go ahead and say unfreeze panes, and that's just going to undo what I just did. Now I lost my freezing. So maybe I want to see their first name and last name always. So let me just highlight all of column C. Go to freeze panes, say freeze panes. Okay. Now if I scroll over to the right, no matter how much data I have, I'm going to always see that first and last name. And this could be useful. Maybe I'm in marketing and I want to send out a promo item specific to gender. You know, maybe I've got a different one for males than I do females. So this would be a good way to get rid of all that extra data and just view what I really am looking for, which is the name and the gender. Okay, so I can scroll back and still see what I have. So lastly, what if I want to freeze my column and my row? There's a way to do that as well, so let's going to unfreeze. If I just click in a cell in the middle of the screen, let's say I want to see the first and last name, but I still want to see my headers. If I choose this cell, it's going to freeze starting with column B, and it's going to freeze starting with row 3. So I've got the cell highlighted. I'm going to go say freeze panes. Now I can scroll down, and I can scroll over, and I'm still not going to lose the first 2 columns, and I'm not going to lose those first 3 rows. So you can kind of see how this is incredibly useful if you have very large spreadsheets of, most cases, either customers or employees. So hopefully you found this tool useful, and you'll be able to share it with other coworkers.